Hi folks, this is just a training video for anyone who might be using the audio-visual equipment that is in Christchurch. That's the screens and the projection system. What I would say to you is with regard to using the sound, if you have a look at the other training video on using the audio side, then that will give you everything you need to know about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through everything regarding the new video equipment, and can I say, if you have any problems, any questions about it, feel free to contact David in the parish office, and then he can direct the inquiry through to some of us who can help you. I'm going to switch the camera around at this stage so that you can see everything that's involved. So in terms of the church layout, at the front, I'll just go to the front and show you. At the front, up in the beams, you will see there's a bar there that looks like just another beam, but that actually is the mechanism for the screen. At the front, at one of the prayer desks, down on the floor is a box. You don't need to go in, you will probably need to go into that box, but in that box you'll see that there is a cable, which is it's an HDMI connector cable that you can use. The other thing that's up here as well is a little extender in case you need to extend that cable for a longer cable. We might actually get a longer HDMI that can be used, but there's enough lead in that to kind of stretch if you need it. Inside this box, and you lift it kind of like that, are the connections for connecting basically this part. If you were using, say, a laptop or something, these are the connections for that. You don't need to go in there, but I suppose the important thing is the on-off switches down here. Things will be switched off at the end of services, and those just need to be switched on whenever you're wanting to use that. But you'll see it's tidied and out of the way, so no one's going to trip on that. So that's that. If we go down to the back, I suppose the most significant thing you'll see is just up on the wall is a laser projector. The laser projector is different than other projectors in that it, unlike other projectors, it doesn't have to kind of cool down or anything like that. It switches off very quickly, so there's no fans or anything in it. So it's a pretty good piece of equipment and technology. On the wall here, you'll see that there's again an on-off switch for the projector to get it on. The next thing is the desk, and within the desk there's a number of boxes that are important. The first thing is this little Netgear box. This is a router. What that does is that allows us within the church to have Wi-Fi. Now, it in no way is providing you with internet. There's no internet in the church, but it allows you to connect, for example, an iPad onto the projector if you want to do that wirelessly. So in terms of connections, you can connect wirelessly, or you can go to the front and connect also in there, and as on the HDMI. And in addition to that, what we also have down here is a connection for the kind of old, what was called 15-pin DIN connection. So there's three different types. My recommendation would be, if you've got Apple products, to use the Wi-Fi that's there, or up at the front to use that. In terms of other pieces of equipment, just to make you aware, we have in here what's called a Kramer box, And what that does is that essentially switches between the different inputs. So one of these buttons would relate to the wireless connection that you want, and the other one would relate to the front of the church. So if someone was using the front of the church and then moving to Wi-Fi, there would have to be someone here who would press the buttons between the different inputs. It's a bit like a TV where you might have your Sky, but you also have maybe an Apple TV box, or you have a PlayStation for the kids or whatever, that you'll swap between the various inputs. Tucked away under here, which really is tucked in here for reasons of sort of staying out of the way, is your Apple TV box. For to use that essentially allows you not to get Apple TV. It simply allows you to connect wirelessly with an Apple product, like an iPad or an iPhone or anything like that. So those are the various bits of equipment. Next then is how to make it all happen. So under the pew there are a couple of power sockets. So you basically start off by switching those on. That switches everything. That switches the PA and everything on. So that's that on. Things will start to happen. Obviously, there are individual switches for everything else, which need to be switched on. So next, what you need to do is you need to switch other things on. So the projector, the power for it is there, and that projector goes on to what's called standby at that stage. So that's that. And then at the front, under here, it's necessary to lift the little unit up and simply switch that on. So those are all the power units on. The next thing to do is to start to get the actual equipment up and running. Two pieces of equipment that you need to kind of bring into life require remote controls. So you'll see at the side we have a couple of remote controls. This remote control is for the Apple TV. You shouldn't really need to go near that. It's just not necessary. It just needs to be there if the settings need to be changed, but please do not mess with that. The next one is the projection screen, and the other one is the projector. Okay, so on here you've got a number of buttons. This button, there's two mechanisms in the screen. One is to bring the actual screen unit down, and the next one is to bring the screen within the mechanism down. So if I press this button, you'll see it begins to bring the screen down, but it means that the screen is sitting up there. The housing unit needs to also be brought down. And to do that, you've got two buttons here, one for up and one for down. So if I press the down button on that, you'll see that simultaneously what occurs is that the actual mechanism comes down. Now the great thing about the screen is that it will come down to a particular location which is aligned completely with the projector at the back. So you don't have to stop anything or set it. It just comes down to a point. Okay? So that's the screen down. And now the next thing is to get the projector on. To get the projector on, you take your remote control, and on that you'll see that there's a standby button. By simply pressing the standby, you'll hear a little beep on the unit and it'll start to switch on. It's the on button. The standby button is whenever you want to switch it off. Yeah, on. So, and what you will see in a minute or two on the screen is you'll probably see some kind of welcome message there. It just says Epson. And that's it, just making sure it's ready to go. Now the screen will go blank at this stage because it doesn't have a signal as such, and that's where your next bit is really important. You got to then decide what you are connecting. Are you connecting Wi-Fi, or are you connecting physically at the front with the cable? What are you doing? I'm going to stop this video now, or I'm about to stop this video, and then there are additional videos that help you with the next stage of whether you're doing a Wi-Fi connection or whatever. So I suppose the only other thing then is at the end of a service, wherever you want to put everything away, you really just start to switch things off. So in order to switch the projector off, what you would do is you press the standby, and once you press it once, you'll see a message coming up on the screen, and that just basically says power off, what do you want to do, and you press the standby button again. It beeps twice and it is off. So that's that off. The next thing that you would do would be you would put your screen up, and again it's just the two mechanisms. So you press the one to go up here and then the one here. So if I just press those, there's the screen going up, and if I press the other one, you'll see it goes back up into its house. And again, you don't have to press anything more on that remote control. It will automatically go back up for you and put itself back up into the housing. There's nothing else involved in that. There you go. That's it done. And then switch things off. So you'll switch your projector off there. Go up to the front to the wee desk, or the wee panel, and in under here, just that on-off switch. And that is, and then obviously down to the back, switch the power off underneath the pews, and that is everything off. Let me just do that for you. So you just switch there off, and that's you done. And that would be your normal routine. So as I say, if you watch the other videos now, that will help you with how do you make the actual various connections work. But again, remember, any questions, please contact David and he can direct your inquiry through to us. Okay, take care.